The following podcast is a deep, shallow dive production.
And you're going to love it.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Hope everybody is doing well. Okay, wanted to talk a few things today, and I actually wanted to start off, man, I had a few different interesting discussions with some friends based on Tuesday's episode, which kind of talks about 9/11 and things like that. And, you know, it's definitely, obviously, to this day, a controversial and, you know, in many ways, touchy subject for some people. And I definitely experienced that with one of my conversations. But, you know, I will say, again, the only real point of, quite frankly, everything that I played, and I think I did find that BBC clip, so I will air that either later this episode or on another episode. Let's see how this one goes. But my point is, you know, again, you've got to get to the point where you're just open to looking at everything and you're not defensive about anything. Like, why would you be? You know, why would you be? There's actually a funny expression in Farsi that my mom uses all the time and my dad used to use as well. Man, I just said my mom. Oh, you know what? Actually, it's okay if I say my mom in that situation. I think when I need to say our mom is when I'm referring to her in terms of like Mother's Day, like wishing her Mother's Day because of my brother. All right, I'm going to just clarify that real quick. Anyway, so the phrase, it's basically when somebody gets offended about something or somebody takes something personally, but it really has nothing to do with them. You know what I mean? And for example, the 9/11 situation is a perfect example. Honestly, opinions on what was taking place with the COVID vaccine is a perfect example. And basically, I'm going to say the phrase in Farsi just because I think it'll sound funny for some people, and then I'll explain it. And so the phrase is, Mage mole amate. Mage mole amate. And so that basically means, what? Is it belong to your aunt? And the funny thing in Farsi, which is the language of Iran, is that the word aunt kind of has two, it's specific to the aunt on your mom's side and the aunt on your dad's side. And I think that's the way Spanish is too, with like tia. No, that's not tia. Tia is aunt, but I don't know if there's a differentiation between the mom on your aunt's side, and versus the mom on your dad's side. It's not like English where, again, aunt is aunt. On your mom's side, if it's your mom's sister, she's called a khale. And then if it's your dad's sister, she's called an amme. And so for some reason, the dad's sisters, like the ammes, they're like the brunt of all the jokes. And I don't know, they get a bad rap, which I've always thought was funny. It's like, why does that person get a bad rap? And so when I asked my mom that, she basically said, well, you know, the mother's sister is supposed to be more loving toward like her nieces and nephews and things like that. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. You know, dad's sisters, they're also women. They're very loving. Like, what's the difference? And then she's like, oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's like that. But anyway, so the phrase basically translates to, yeah, why are you so offended? Does that belong to your aunt? Which is pretty funny. And so a lot of this stuff, I guess I'm asking you, unless it actually belongs to your aunt, don't get offended about things. Don't get offended about questions, and just try and be open. Like, seriously, why not? I genuinely don't get that in people, especially after the past 4 years that we've had, which again, however you want to classify it, they've been different. If you want to just leave it at that, I'm good with that. They've been a different 4 years. How about that? Okay, we'll just leave it there and we won't get any more in depth about it. But anyway, I guess I am asking for a little call to arms and call to action. And that is, as we move forward in all of our episodes, again, just be open to talking about everything. Unless I bring something up that literally your aunt owns, then don't get defensive about it. And instead, let's have a discussion about it. Like, I'm totally cool with having questions about, like, well, no, I don't think there was anything nefarious about 9/11. It was a terrorist attack and that was it. And I was like, okay, that's cool. This was actually the literally the conversation I had with my friend. I said, well, what about that passport thing? Like, don't you think that's weird that Muhammad Atta's passport was found in perfect condition? And he's like, no, I mean, it just was. And I'm like, but dude, the plane hit the building, caused those buildings to, I mean, man, the size of those buildings, the steel, everything that was in those buildings, the weight of all of that falling down, the amount of ash and the amount of just destruction. I mean, oh my goodness, I can't even comprehend what that must have looked like that day. That must have just been unbelievable. But then I'm like, I don't understand how you could think that a passport, which, by the way, must have been in his front pocket, back pocket, jacket pocket. I don't know if he was wearing a coat. It must have been in that pocket. How does that survive? That's impossible to me. That is impossible that passport could end up on the ground and somebody could find it in perfect condition. So anyway, that was kind of like, it was an interesting discussion. And I'm not going to lie, at the end of our call, I mean, everything was cool. And, we chatted family stuff and all that. And he said he was going to buy the book. Let's see if he does. But it was fine. It's not like there was animosity, but I still don't think he's open to the fact that was the passport planted there. I don't know. I really don't know. But like, I guess I'm open enough to considering it based on the flight path that passport, no pun intended, needed to take in order to land on the ground in perfect condition. I just find that highly unlikely. Anyway, all right, so that was a lot of chatter for one main message. And that main message is that just to be open to hearing everything out. Seriously, just be open to hearing everything out. Let's have some great discussions about it. And, let's kind of go on from there. All right. Along those lines, I wanted to kind of talk about this. I don't know, this might not have gotten much news outside of Los Angeles, but a very, very cherished entertainment reporter, Sam Rubin, who seemed like just a wonderful, super nice guy, but he died last week, actually on May 10th, at the age of 64, again, from what is now just being described as another cardiac episode, heart attack, at the age of 64. Now, I did want to clarify a couple, I guess, thoughts on this stuff as well. And that is that, again, it's not like there were no heart attacks or there were no cardiac episodes prior to 2020. And then especially prior to the latter half starting of 2021. And you guys know what I'm talking about. So again, I am cognizant and aware enough to say, hey, you know what, man, there have been a lot of all of this stuff prior to that date. But I will say if you really pay attention, the increased amount of them, especially skewing down to younger ages, that definitely has upticked, dramatically. And I'll try to find some real credible data to talk about that and to try to put that in perspective. But anyway, that's just another one. Again, I really talk about that concept, and I'm a little bit vague in how I discuss it, which I think you guys understand for obvious reasons. But I really even talk about it because I swear all I care about is your health. I really do. Like I really care about my friend's health. I really do. And like, if there was one thing in my friendships that I hopefully can impact, it's a heightened awareness of your health. And whether that's, sharing that I did 19,000 steps on Saturday around my own house. The only reason I share that is no excuses, man. You can get steps around your own house. Get steps in, move around, watch your diet, think about what you're eating, think about your alcohol intake, think about everything. Think about, what you're putting into your body on a daily basis. Think about what comes out of your body on a daily basis. I mean, the reason I talk about so much of this stuff is honestly, I genuinely care. I really do. I genuinely care. And I feel like unfortunate things happen when there's a lack of awareness about our health. And I'll follow that up with, I actually had a great talk with my brother the other day. I have a lot of great talks with my brother, but my favorite are the ones that are just like, I don't know, we just organically go down a certain path. And what we were talking about as he was driving somewhere was just, gosh, it's just, I don't know. I'm just different. I'm different. I feel different. I want to have different interactions with people these days. I want to talk about different things. And, at the age of, again, it's not really an age thing. I mean, obviously, I think when you turn 50, something does click. But for me, something clicked when I turned 30. It definitely clicked when I turned 40. I think it clicks at every maybe milestone birthday. But for some reason, my present state of things has truly emerged into a life that values true quality over quantity, like true quality. Like I really am abiding by the less is more philosophy in regards to everything. I mean, again, I do talk about this in a chapter in the book that I think lays it out really nicely, but the less is more concept is almost becoming somewhat of a mentality for me. And I love it. I love it. Like I love having, in some ways, less of material things in my life, less of, I don't know, just less of certain things that maybe when I was 30 or 40, I wanted more of. But now it's about enjoying the things you have. I actually have I've got a great piece of art in my house that says, when you love what you have everything you need. So when you love what you have everything you need. And I seriously love that message. I really do. I love that message. And so anyway, the conversation with my brother really kind of, touched on, I don't know, just really looking for quality in every aspect, looking for quality out of our relationships. And I'm applying that to looking for quality on this podcast, looking for quality in terms of the things I talk to you about. I'm really excited to start bringing on these guests and having, other perspectives and just quite frankly, other people. And, I'm really trying to vet them. This might be interesting. There's a lot of services online as a podcast host, especially a podcast host that has done as many episodes as I have. I didn't know this, but like supposedly 80% of podcasts never get past 25 episodes. That's amazing to me. I'm going to have to, I actually had a friend tell me that the other day. And I said, where did you hear that? And he said, oh, let me find it for you. He's like, but it's true. I'm telling you, it's true. It's hard to, keep going with stuff. And so today is 149. So obviously I've kept going with this. But again, the quality of content in terms of talking about, real things, and that's going to get even better and even more in depth moving forward for me. I love sticking to 20 minutes. I love sticking to 20 to 30 minutes. I think when I bring these guests on, those episodes are going to go longer. But again, that's a 2-person conversation. So I think that's interesting for those episodes to go longer. But anyway, I guess one of the things I really wanted to stress today was, and again, it was based on the conversations I had due to Tuesday's episode, is that, just be open to hearing things. Really be open to hearing things. Again, I hope we don't go for a bumpy ride moving forward and as we lead up to the election. But if we do, I think that if we have our eyes wide open, we can try and figure out what's going on better.
On September 10th, 2001, Donald Rumsfeld gave a speech at the Pentagon, basically saying how the Pentagon had $2.3 trillion in money on spending that was completely unaccountable. The very next day, on September 11th, one of the planes flew into the exact same spot at the Pentagon that Donald Rumsfeld was giving that speech at the day before.
All right, so I wanted to play that for you because that was true. He did give a speech literally the day before 9/11, and there were $2.3 trillion of unaccounted monies from an audit.
Our financial systems are decades old. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions. We cannot share information from floor to floor in this building because it's stored on dozens of different technological systems that are inaccessible or incompatible. We maintain 20 to 25% more base infrastructure than we need to support our forces.
So that was September 10th at the same spot. Anyway, just more nuggies of information for your brain.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
All right, so that was President Biden calling out former President Trump to debate, which, man, I am definitely a little bit surprised about that. Now, a couple things on that. First of all, they're definitely boxing out RFK Jr. Like they're boxing him out. So I don't think he's going to get to participate in that, which is a shame. I think he should get to participate in that. Secondly, is this a preemptive move because they know Trump's not going to be able to debate? Maybe, because of all his legal situations. So let's put some stuff out there in the press so we don't look like we're dodging a debate, knowing that it's never going to happen. Or third, who knows? Maybe he's like, you know what, I can do it. I don't know. Like I said in several previous episodes, that Biden that took the stage for the State of the Union, he must have tripled up on his boost shots or something, but bro was a different guy than you normally see. So who knows? Maybe they have him like Rocky Balboa ready for center stage, and they feel like with the right moderator and with the right environment and all of that, which I'm sure they're going to, if it does happen, they're going to be able to control that. Maybe they're okay with it. I don't know. We'll see. By the way, one thing I just read was, so they have agreed, both parties, to debating, but there'll be no studio audience for the first one, which looks like it'll be on CNN. The second one looks like it's going to be ABC News. And then there is something else where they're going back and forth about being able to cut off the microphones. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I don't mind that, because based on the last debates between those two and then other candidates, it's just, especially on the Republican side, the debates we had, they're such a mess. But also, the RFK Jr. thing, that's definitely a move maybe on both of their parts, because RFK Jr. now is in the press accusing the two campaigns, and I quote, of colluding against his campaign to avoid discussion of their 8 years of mutual failure, end quote. All right, so, I mean, I think that plays into it a little bit as well. I really do. I actually would like to see the three of them on the stage, because I'd be interested in hearing RFK Jr.'s takes and hearing the things he talks about and the things he brings up, which, again, I've said this before. Trump doesn't even bring up some of this stuff. I have never, for all you Trump fans out there, I have never once heard about Trump talking about the military-industrial complex. I've never heard him talking about things like the petrodollar. He has talked about central bank digital currency, so I will give him credit on that. He's talked about that being something he will absolutely not allow. So I give him credit there. But as far as the military-industrial complex, and I mean, that's a big one. You guys know that's kind of a tentpole theme for me that again, I just think it exists. I mean, I just think it exists. I think that concept is not, a pie in the sky concept. I think from Dwight D. Eisenhower, who literally basically warned the country about that in his farewell address, which I've played several times. I won't play it again, but if you're interested, just Google Dwight D. Eisenhower farewell speech. And I mean, he literally warns the country about the military-industrial complex. And then from there, John F. Kennedy vows to take us out of Vietnam and kind of remove all of that. And then he gets assassinated. There's obviously conflicting theories on the Kennedy assassination, but the thing about that I find the most interesting is, after Lyndon B. Johnson took over, not only did we double down and go into Vietnam stronger, we like triple and quadrupled down and went in more and more and more. And then from there, it was a continual stream, a continual stream of wars. War. Good God. What is it good for? Making lots of money. Good God. All right. I'm going to leave you with that. Call a spade a spade.
The ending was terrific.
This episode was brought to you by the new book, Deep Shallow Dive Into You, available now on Amazon and Barnes & Noble in hardcover and paperback. Don't forget to sign up for our new mailing list on our website at deepshallowdive.com.